Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we are going to talk about what influence internationals should have on American politics. So, I've been thinking about this topic for a while, and I just kind of want to share my opinions with you on it. I think it's a deep topic, and I really am very excited about the idea of it overall. Um, let's talk about it. Okay, so first of all, let's set the frame. What do I mean by this? What's an international? Well, an international is anyone who's not an American citizen. Okay. Um, Now, and so yeah, so literally every other person in the world who's not an American citizen. So my question is, what impact, what influence should they have on American politics? And I'm talking the big show. What influence should internationals have on who the American president is? Now, I hear you like, wait, Scott, why are you even talking about this? Why would any international have should why should they have any influence on who the American president is? Well, there's some really good reasons for it. So let's talk about it. Um, so one, I just love American politics. I really, really do. I earned my political science degree at Millersville University between 1988 and 1992. And for the 28 years since then, I have learned a lot. I've read a lot of books. I've listened to a lot of podcasts. I've made a lot of videos. I have shook hands with world leaders. And I've really put a lot of time and effort into learning about American politics. Of course, the highlight of all that was shaking Andrew Yang's hand. I really feel like he's the best American politician I've ever met or dealt with directly. It's just unfortunate he's not going to be our next president, 9 chances out of 10. But overall, uh, one of the things I've learned is that internationals are incredibly dialed into American politics. In fact, I would say the following: it is my opinion that most internationals in most countries care more about the U.S., who the U.S. president is, than who their president is. And they're not wrong. Here's why. If the U.S. president is set correctly, that helps a lot of nations. And if it's set incorrectly, that hurts a lot of nations. And so, frankly, the idea that the American president probably is going to impact your life if you live in Kazakhstan or Greenland or Spain or Papua New Guinea or the Democratic Republic of Congo, yeah, the U.S. president is probably going to have more impact than your current leader on your life. The reality is, America has just been successful at a level that is just absolutely unprecedented in human history. And our reach, thanks to technology, is just it's so large it just boggles the mind. It truly does. And we are really a nation. Let me put this in perspective, okay? Just one aspect of politics is the military, right? And I'm a big fan of Red Dawn, and Red Dawn had this idea of what if the Russians invaded us, right? That film is a laughable joke today. Russia has no ability to invade anyone, right? They're not even a force to be reckoned with anymore, right? They're a minor concern, right? Like it's incredible how the mighty has fallen, but America hasn't fallen. It's gotten far more powerful. So let's put it in perspective. There isn't a question of if America would beat X country. Could America beat China? Could America beat Canada? Could America beat Great Britain? Could America beat Russia? Those aren't even. That's not. None of those are even worth answering. The answer is known to everybody. Yes, America could beat any nation on the earth. It's not even arguable that there'd be a nation on the entire planet that could give America even 7 days of warfare, right? The real question is, if America went to war tomorrow with the entire world, who would win? That's an interesting question. That one's interesting. There's a question there. There's actually a question there, right? But America against one country? Psh, we already know the answer to that. Like China can't. Like China's the closest there is, and they can't even get their people. Like, what are they going to do? Walk across Europe? Like, where are they going to put their people? Right? It's laughable, right? So And that's just one aspect when it comes to culture. When it comes to entertainment, is we slaughter nations. Like entertainment, perfect example. You could take the entire movie industry of the entire world and club it all together, and I doubt it's better than even NBC or ABC. Right? Like like we just dominate at a level that is absolutely massive and unprecedented. Right? So the reality is, what we do in America affects the whole world, right? And so while it has seemed logical for a long time to say, well, internationals get no voice, they get no vote in who is going to be our president, I have seriously started to circle around and really question this, right? What should be international? Um, what should internationals impact, influence, vote should be on who the U.S. president is? And more, I'm starting to think there should be some impact, some influence, some vote. Right? I'm going to give you my full plan before we're done. But the idea that we're going to continue to pretend that America doesn't really is that the president of America is not king or queen of the world is ludicrous at this point. The president is king or queen of the world. Period. End of sentence. And this is no longer a debatable topic. This is like it's just not, right? All right. So with that understood, oh, and then also I'm going to say because I have a channel where I talk about politics every day, I have learned that boy, this is my opinion, but boy oh boy is it right from what I've seen. Many of my viewers and listeners are internationals. They are, and they care deeply about American politics, right? And they have no voice. And the longer this has gone on, the more I've thought, this isn't fair. This is not friendly. This is not fair, right? So, what should internationals, and by the way, if you're not aware, an absolute massive amount of international people just talk about American politics more than they talk about their own politics. And well, they should, because the president's going to have more impact on their lives. The U.S. president is going to have more impact on their lives than anyone else. And also the idea of also, the other thing is like vast majorities of most countries are simply echoes of America. We get it first, we get it best, and then it kind of echoes out, and our culture just goes to the rest of the world. It's a huge thing, okay? So with that said, here's what I think should be the appropriate structure. I think we should so one, if we give internationals a voice, a vote, impact in American politics, it accepts the fact that even though we are a sovereign nation, we're so powerful, there's not a nation on this planet that we don't affect. And so it begins that discourse. And even though we haven't extended our land to other people, which not a lot of people are cool about that anymore, people get upset when, conflict starts. People don't want to see kinetic action between countries. I get that, right? But the cultural war is already won, right? America's won it, period, right? So the idea that we should hold all this power in ourselves and for everybody else, American politics is a spectator sport, even though when we slam our foot on the ground, the tremors are felt in Finland and in the Solomon Islands and in Fiji, and in Ecuador. Even though we our power is so great, we're keeping all this power to ourselves, and it needs to end. We gotta get rid of this. It's enough. We really need to do something about this. So here's what we should do. In my opinion, America should extend the Electoral College and give 7 nations one electoral vote. One electoral vote to 7 different nations. That nation is free to choose however they want to determine where that electoral vote is cast and how it's cast. They can do that within their own country. They can give people the right to vote. They can have their leaders choose it, whatever they want. It's their one electoral vote. But I think we should give 7 nations one electoral vote for 2 elections. Now, who should those 7 nations be? Those 7 nations should be the 7 nations who have, in my opinion, been the best friend to America, the people who have treated us with the most respect, the most respect, given us, you know, they don't mock us. They don't like say, "Oh, you guys should do your healthcare like we do." Oh, you guys are so backwards in all your different, different habits and how you choose to do this and that, right? Just people that have given much respect to the U.S., right? So here's the nations. UK. I think the United Kingdom has been very respectful to America, and they have gone to great lengths to build a better relationship with us. Long time ago, we were like, bye. And since then, they've really turned around and they've been much nicer to us. So props. UK, you should get one electoral vote. Um, and then next, I would say, is Japan. Japan, we're best buds with Japan. By the way, if you want to be great friends with Japan, with America, get into a war with us. Like it seems to turn out great. Like everybody loves us after we've had a big war with them. It's just now, hopefully, that's not going to how we're going to get friends in going forward. But these first two, we had some brutal scraps with them, and it turned out great. We're best friends now, right? Next one is Australia. Australia does give us much respect, but also kind of like, in addition to the respect they give us, they're just an awesome country. I mean, they got those kangaroos and everything they do is so epic. Australia. Okay. Next is Israel, one of the coolest nations in the world. I love Israel. I just think they're really special, and they've shown much respect to the United States of America. They'd be awesome to give an electoral college vote to. Next would be South Korea for K-pop alone. Thank you for K-pop. It's worth an electoral college vote, right? The next one is Greenland. We're giving them this vote so that they're going to be comfortable when we buy them later, okay? And then last is Madagascar. Dope little island off the coast of Africa. Love that country. Electoral college vote. Those 7 nations, UK, Japan, Australia, Israel, South Korea, Greenland, and Madagascar, they each get one electoral college vote. This acknowledges our impact among the world. Okay, so I think any savvy blue or red politician would be wise to pick up this plan. AOC, it's all yours. Run with it. Right? I think this is a great idea. I really think this is due time. Because the reality is, there's a lot of people who care deeply about our politics, and frankly, I would say this too. I think a lot of internationals know more about American politics than Americans know. Period. Right? So why should that be a waste? Why should we cut them out, right? There are countries that have given us mad respect, and we could try this for 2 elections. And 7 electoral college votes aren't going to swing an election one way or another, unless it's close, in which case it will, right? And that's okay, right? I think it's totally okay if it swung it one way or another. It's a super small amount. We would give it for 2 elections. If the experiment went well and it made us better, gave us a better relationship with those nations, and Americans didn't lose their minds over this whole thing, then we could expand it and give more electoral college points to those nations and give more nations electoral college votes. And I'm all for this because the reality is, like, we rule the world. Like, and so why not acknowledge it and start giving some of the people that we actually rule some voice? I think that's fair, right? So they're not literal Americans, but they sure as heck are figurative Americans, man. Like, just go over in Japan. They wear our pants. They drive our cars. Come on, like, it's not cool to cut them out. So I think this would be a very good way to go. All that's my opinion. What do you think? Do you think internationals should have electoral college votes? That nations should start to be given electoral college votes in electing the U.S. president? I'd love to hear your opinion. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.